What's going on, guys? Marco here with Front Yard Fantasy, and I am bringing you my 2 must-draft wide receivers. All right, so let's jump right into it because I have so much to say about these 2 guys. So let's start with my number 1 wide receiver that you must draft, and we'll just go by where they're going in ADP. So the guy that's going first in ADP is Darnell Mooney. He's going as the wide receiver 31 on Sleeper. The wide receiver 31. That's literally insane. So he was better than that already last year with an injured and rookie Justin Fields and a random bits of Andy Dalton thrown in there. So what you should expect from Darnell Mooney this year. He is probably going to see over 150 targets in this offense. He saw 140 last year. This offense actually is starting to game plan around specifically 3 players. Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet. They're all going to see so much better production in this offense that is literally created for them rather than the Matt Nagy offense that decided we're going to plan for Andy Dalton and see what happens, which was a miserable failure. So this offense is planning specifically around Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet. Mooney is likely to see 150 plus targets in this offense. He showed that he can succeed really, really well against zone coverage and with the 9 routes, the corner routes. The big thing with Darnell Mooney is that he wasn't used in the ways that he has shown he can be the most successful last year. He didn't get open, he wasn't used in space very often last year. This is going to be what this offense does. They create opportunities for him to be out in space, for him to be running these 9 routes, these corner routes. And when he does that, he will succeed at a level that we haven't seen yet. He is one of those players that just wasn't utilized to his strengths last year. He is a burner, absolute burner, who plays much bigger than his size. He actually broke tackles on over 11.5% of his touches last year. He is a physical player, even at his size, and he is the wide receiver 1 for this team. He's probably long-term not an NFL wide receiver 1. He's probably more fit for a really good wide receiver 2 for the NFL, but in this offense where he's obviously the number 1 target, Justin Fields is going to find him. He's an aggressive passer. He likes to go deep more often than not. And in this offense, they're going to unleash Mooney. They're going to unleash Justin Fields. And if you don't even believe in Mooney as a talent, what do we know about fantasy football? Volume is king. He saw 140 targets last year. He's likely to see 150 plus this year because they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. They obviously have a defense that is in flux. Roquan Smith might not play, and they lost Khalil Mack. They've got a lot of parts moving here. Darnell Mooney is the volume guy you want. He is one of only maybe 7 players likely to see 150 plus targets in 2022. All right, my second guy that I've got to talk about is Elijah Moore. If you follow me on Twitter at Marco_14P, you know that I am all about Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore last year didn't really get incorporated into the offense a ton until around week 7, and then he was very much involved when he was on the field until week 13 when he got hurt. So when I say this week range of week 7 to 13, I'm not just picking an arbitrary date range for Elijah Moore. I'm picking when he really got involved too, unfortunately, when he got hurt and he couldn't be on the field. So let's look at what he did from week 7 to 13. He averaged 17.66 fantasy points per game. That would have put him less than 4 total points on the year behind Jamar Chase if you extrapolate that over an entire season. And that was with a carousel of quarterbacks. He saw Zach Wilson. He saw Mike White. I think there was another quarterback that was thrown in there somewhere. But ultimately what I'm saying is that Elijah Moore is the real deal. He is an elite route runner, a route technician, and he is likely to lead this team in targets. Obviously, Garrett Wilson was added in the first round. That is a concern. But Garrett Wilson is one of those guys who is similar to Elijah Moore, where he's a route runner. He's going to have to kind of get incorporated and learn the schemes of this offense. And in that time, Elijah Moore should dominate. I think this is the year that Elijah Moore has a breakout season. Obviously, next year, his volume might drop because Garrett Wilson will be more involved. But in year 2 for Elijah Moore, doesn't really matter if it's Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White, whoever it is, Elijah Moore is the guy. He does all of the fine-tuning traits of the wide receiver position. You hear me talk about that all the time because his football IQ is through the roof. His route running is through the roof. His hands are sure, and he catches with his hands. He doesn't use his body to catch the football. He is a route technician who can do it all. Elijah Moore is a guy who is going way late in your drafts, and he could be a wide receiver 2 with immense upside in 2022. Go ahead and get him right now because he did that 17.66 fantasy points per game while playing less than 60% of the snaps 4 of those 7 games. This guy's just filthy. Go get him in your drafts right now before it's too late. If you've got a chance to get him in your dynasty leagues, go get him because he will never be as cheap as he is right now. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Peace.